This current administration is signing off our independence and our sovereignty to the World Health Organization for any future treaties on a treaty that's called a global pandemic treaty. This treaty will violate all of our constitutional rights, will allow the World Health Organization to step over and into our homes when this is passed. We need to stand up against this. Let's talk about it today in DeFi IoT. Yeah, you heard it right. The World Health Organization, through this administration, and this was something that was started during the Obama years too, right? And again, I'm not going to get into sides here, but you know, each one does things that we like and don't like, and that have hurt the country and not hurt the country. Haven't lied to anybody here that I'm a conservative. I love our Constitution. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative, and that means that I love our free market economy, our responsible freedom, our U.S. Constitution, and how we existed as a country when I was younger, during the 80s, my teenage years. I'd like to see us go back to that. At least that was something that had hope in the future. Now people live in fear. Let's talk about what's going on. The World Health Organization. Yes, this is real. I'll put a link down below. You can hear these different congressmen talking about bills that they're passing right now to stand up against this. This was something I did about 6-7 days ago, last week. But this has been going on for a while. We've announced it here in this channel that the World Health Organization is now going to take control of our travel. One is if there's any type, it's called a global pandemic treaty. This global pandemic treaty talks about sovereignty, but then as it goes on and later in its articles, it steps all over sovereignty. So there's really no sovereignty. It's just lip service to sovereignty here. So we got to be careful of this. They're trying to say that, well, this administration is trying to say that it's better for us to leave the control in one government. That way all the countries can be on the same page. Now, did you ever ask any questions about when this all rolled out, how quickly everybody just fell in line? Remember, that was because in January 2019, the World Economic Forum, who, by the way, is the influence over the World Health Organization and United Nations, etc., World Bank, you know, we can roll on down the line. These people, they all work together. This is a secret combination. It's real. And people need to wake up and realize that this is really happening. I know it's difficult. I find it so hard for people just to invite us over to their home for dinner or anything, because I talk about this stuff all the time and they don't want to talk about it. It bothers them. They don't want to search out and study it. And so people don't talk about it. If they really knew what was going on, and like, if you're listening, then you've got a good idea. Right? So if they knew what was really going on, I would think that their 100% attention would be here. Now, I talked to somebody else and said they're more concerned about a threat of China attacking us. Yeah, that's a possibility. But I'm going to tell you honestly, with the resources I have, that is a possibility, but it's a much less of an enemy than we have the one right now in our own borders. And that is causing us to collapse from within, lose our freedoms from within. And then you're right. Then China would just walk in, go to every home that has all their weapons, ammunition, everything legally registered like everybody should have, and they'll take them, right? Now, I'm not inferring anything. I'm just saying what's going to take place. And this is very likely could roll out. Now, I'm not a doomsdayer. I do believe in hope, and I do believe that core red states will stand up. And that's why the Second Amendment is going to be so important that we fight to keep in its true context. And that means that we even have weapons to defend ourselves against a tyrant military or dictator type president. Now, we're seeing pieces of that now. It's not something we should just laugh at. It's happening. The same corruption I saw in South America happened here in the last 2 elections. I'm telling you, it is that corrupt, and we're using the same tactics and even some of the same players with the machines as they do down there to steal their elections under the Marxist agenda. And all that was formed in 1990 under the Brazil Sao Paulo Forum. Go look that up. I'll put some links down below too. It's hard to find all the details now on Google, so you're going to have to really do some search to find the real reason why they got together to enforce and bring about the whole Marxist agenda here in the Americas, but we causing the Latin countries to collapse first and then a focus on America so the rest could fall as a domino series. That's not my makeup. There's even a book called The Naked Communist that lays out their plan that was written in the 1960s. And then recently a video was out on it. So what's going to happen now? World Health Organization is going to be signed over, or our health is going to be signed over to Joe Biden. Joe Biden's going to sign over to this World Health Organization. And we want to travel. Some of the stipulations in there's a lot of stipulations, but we're going to get that carbon credit passport. And that's going to determine whether we are contaminating the world globally, climate change, if you will, whatever, how you want to name it nowadays. If you are offsetting too much carbon, you're not traveling. And if you don't have all the vaccinations, including all the ones that are just sticking in your arms, that under the Nuremberg trials were considered illegal to do without a committee approving these things, which got bypassed in this last series of things. But World Health Organization will now have control. It won't even be up to us. In other words, we as Americans want to stand up for our freedoms again when, let's say, another crisis hits us. I'm not going to use a P word. We can't, because now we'll be facing NATO forces. We'll be facing forces from the United States because they'll be obliged to send forces out, armed forces, talking about our military, to come and settle down the uprising, because all of our constitutional rights will be out the window once this binding agreement is signed with the World Health Organization. We're giving $700 million away to the World Health Organization right now, every year. To pay who? Who we give this to? Who runs the World Health Organization? Xi Jinping in China. So we need to wake up to this, and we need to start standing up and doing things. And you know what, people? Invite me over to dinner so I can tell you about it. And don't be afraid to listen to it and do your own research and come to understanding. I'll give you some start. I'll put the links down below. DeFi, IoT, subscribe, get your subscription up to date. We're back from Greece, so we'll start getting some videos out again. Thanks for following us, and we'll see you in our next video.